Earlier this year, Resident Evil 4 came out to rave reviews. How do you make one of the best games ever made even better? Well, Resident Evil 4 somehow figured that out. But that said, there was something missing in the whole package. Back in the day on the PlayStation 2, we got the Separate Ways storyline, a story featuring Ada Wong and what she was up to during the events of Resident Evil 4. Well, Capcom's got her backs, and that DLC has finally become available. Let's check it out in this review. To keep things simple, the gameplay here is similar to the base game of Resident Evil 4. Ada does have her own unique quirks to her gameplay, but overall, the same knife parrying and shooting enemies to stagger them, running in for a melee hit, are basically all the same here. Where things do change though is the grappling hook. Ada was kind of famous for using a grappling hook in Resident Evil 4's original game, and this time around it's back in its full glory. You can use it to get to places that are difficult to reach, and you can even use it to pull away enemy shields or launch yourself in for a melee strike. One thing I am a little disappointed with though is the DLC's weapon choices. It would have been really interesting to see Ada have a completely new set of weapons or some more unique choices to play around with. One thing I gotta praise is the progression of story and events. I really thought this would just be a remixed room or remixed enemy type situation where you just kind of progress through the world as you did with Leon. And while there are a lot of rooms that are similar to that, the whole event and bosses that you encounter and the just progression of the story is completely different here, and I really think it makes it all worth it. For example, the added context for Ada's involvement in this incident, the inclusion of Wesker and many more story beats, and just seeing Ada's relationship with Luis, similar to how it is with Leon, just watching all of this was a really nice addition and something that we didn't really get context for before. I particularly like the inclusion of new bosses and encounters. It's something that I really wasn't expecting to see Ada do. Having Ada have her own unique set of bosses and encounters throughout this storyline was really interesting and a really big high point for me. Other things like treasure hunting and the merchant all return in their full glory. One of the things I really enjoyed doing here was taking a knee and looking around the environment for treasures and doing side quests. It really makes every chapter of this DLC feel really dense and jam-packed, just like the base game. Capcom really did a good job in this regard. For those who have a checklist of everything that Resident Evil 4's remake removed from the base game, you'll be glad to know a lot of it returns in this Separate Ways DLC. Things like the ropeway and a couple of bosses have been recontextualized for Ada's use, and it's pretty unique and interesting. There's also a completely new area that's really interesting to explore and even features a never-before-seen enemy in Resident Evil 4. While I didn't spend the most time with Mercenaries mode, it is pretty fun that it adds Wesker and Ada for gameplay. Both are unique and pretty fun to play with their own unique kits, especially Wesker running around meleeing everything like a Marvel vs. Capcom character. In short, Separate Ways is an amazing piece of DLC. Resident Evil 4 was already one of the best games this year, and this DLC only adds to it. Getting to see new contextualizations for Ada and Wesker, new interactions with Luis, the areas that were added to this game that are completely new, the callbacks to the original game and things that we thought were cut, they're all here and Capcom really knocked it out of the park. If you enjoyed the base game at any level, this is a no-brainer, a must-play for you. But that's going to be it for this video. Please like, sub, leave a comment down below. Did you play this DLC? Are you going to play it later? Because there's lots of games coming out. Either way, I hope you have a great day. Let me know what you think down below, and I hope to see you again next time.